It was one of those evenings Claire almost canceled. A single mom, working 2 jobs just to keep the lights on, she rarely had time for herself. Her friend had set her up on this blind date, insisting she deserved a little happiness. But just an hour before she was supposed to leave, her babysitter canceled. Panic set in. She looked at her son, 6-year-old Ethan, playing quietly with his worn-out toy car. Claire sighed. "Guess you're coming with me, buddy." She thought about calling it off, but something inside told her to go. Maybe it was hope, maybe just desperation for adult conversation. When she walked into the cafe, her heart pounded. There he was, Daniel. Tall, confident, sharply dressed. The kind of man who looked like he had never struggled a day in his life. She froze, clutching Ethan's hand. This was a mistake. What kind of man would want to sit across from a woman with a child on their first date? She forced a smile, sat down, and immediately blurted out, "I'm so sorry. My babysitter canceled last minute. I didn't want to bring him, but I had no one else." Her voice cracked with embarrassment. Daniel looked at her, then at Ethan, who was staring nervously at the menu. For a long second, Claire braced herself for disappointment. But instead of frowning, Daniel's expression softened. He leaned forward, smiled warmly, and said, "Don't apologize. You brought the most important person in your life with you. That says more about you than anything you could tell me tonight." Claire blinked, taken aback. She wasn't used to kindness, especially not from men who looked like Daniel. Before she could respond, Daniel turned to Ethan. "So, buddy, what's your favorite superhero?" Ethan's eyes lit up. "Spider-Man," he shouted, louder than expected. The whole cafe laughed, and Claire's cheeks flushed again. But Daniel chuckled. "Spider-Man? Great choice. You know, he's strong, but also smart, and he always takes care of the people he loves." From there, something shifted. Daniel didn't treat Ethan like an inconvenience, he treated him like part of the evening. When Ethan's toy car rolled off the table, Daniel picked up a sugar packet and made it race across the table, complete with sound effects. Ethan laughed so hard that other customers turned to watch the little show. Claire sat in silence for a moment, watching. It had been so long since she had seen her son laugh this freely. And it had been even longer since someone helped her carry the weight, even just for an hour. As the evening went on, they talked. Claire shared little pieces of her life, how she was working nights as a cashier, how she dreamed of finishing college, how hard it was raising Ethan alone. She expected pity, or worse, judgment. But Daniel just listened. Really listened. At one point, she shook her head and said, "I'm sorry, I'm probably the worst blind date you've ever had. Most women show up looking glamorous, not with sticky fingers on the table and crayons scatter."